The third issue is the connectivity and communication. As you are aware, NFS have already told you, OFC is something laid to a great extent, and since we have the officer from ITBP, he would be aware that we have extended this facility also to the CAPFs, so that after all we have to fight the battle together, so might as well get connected at the early stage. Sambhav, you are aware how it was used in Sindoor 1.0. Now we are going for the phase 2, which will be a much more advanced version. Dedicated satellites, as the future battlefield is concerned, is the era of jostling and competition. The long peace is declining and comprehensive conflicts are on the rise. Means technology is going yellow. Means wherever you want, you can use the technology today. Over 50 ongoing conflicts and more than 100 nations. I used to call it 90, but I was corrected, it's more than 100 now. And Ukraine battlefield, especially we are watching closely because it is the living lab in terms of the conditions what we are having along our borders. So drones are stalking the armor columns. EW is jamming the radios. Precision fires are reaching much beyond 100 kilometers range. Info campaigns win wars even before a single shell lands. So if these are the situation we are facing, I'll just give out 3 Ds which are changing the war scenario today. Firstly, the democratization, that is the newest technology coming in, and has already been brought out that the platform alone is not relevant. It has to have number of layers supported by this democratized phenomena, that is AI, quantum, robotics, auto system, DEW, that is direct energy weapons, cyber tools, etc. Especially in the grey zone, these play a very important role. So the platforms may be there for a conventional when you have a contact and kinetic battle. But what happens to the other 3 quadrants? Who fights these battles? So these are the new players who have come in now. Diffuse, geographically independent but dependent. I'll explain it later. Demography, you have citizen soldiers, you have guardian force, you have merchants who are playing both sides and maybe selling the equipment to both sides to orchestrate the war or facilitate the war. As we look at the Indian context, if I have to look into Indian context, by virtue of you having the 2.5 front challenges or much more than that, we have to still make sure that whatever technology is coming in, it should still form the adjust itself within the 5 generations of warfare what we are having. It means the trench warfare, it will remain true to us. In the trench warfare, you will still have the robo-mule and the GS mule moving together because that's what is the requirement. And starting going to indirect fire, maneuver warfare, hybrid warfare, and going to the latest generation 5 warfare. So these 5 warfares we have to deal with. Decade of transformation has already been given out. That also we are working on the 5 pillars of transformation. And all these 5 pillars, if I can say that, requires technology to kind of upgrade itself. I'm happy to know that Industry 4.0 has moved to Industry 5.0. What was 4.0? 4.0 when the AI, quantum and all this was being talked about. But the 5.0 has realized that the rebalancing is required to bring in the human element. That is, technology is there not to replace human but to support them. What it means, it's a melange of the ecosystem and the technology. Both have to meet. Now, why it is important for us, especially for the Indian Army, because as for the Mask of War book is concerned by Carl Bilder, it says the USPs which are there for the Air Force is of course the technology and for the Navy its platform. But in case of Army, it's always the word over is the human resource. That's why this Industry 5.0 is music to my ears, because we are looking at human-centric technology adoption. We look at humans amplified by AI. Therefore, the creativity, the empathy factor, problem solving, turning data into decisions must remain as a kind of a control of the human being. As a kind of a control of the human being. There is another thing called as technology generation 7. The 7.0 is of course the new mobiles which are coming of that generation, the computers of that generation, video game consoles, and 7 nanomillion technology for microchip. I think Anurag will be able to correct if I am wrong. 7 nm stands for that. Okay. So what I am saying, all these combined together, and this is all is on the table for me to kind of integrate, interpret, and thereafter make sure that the Indian Army gets to gain from it. Before moving ahead, I would like to just clarify as to what is the melange or convergence of the technology and the geography. As far as India is concerned, by virtue of our land borders, the way we are having it, land will remain the currency of victory. And if you take your mind back to the meeting which took place between President Trump and Putin, Alaska, they also discuss about the land only. So, therefore, the technology must give me dividend on land for destruction, occupation, eviction, or any action which is required to be carried out even in the virtual realm. So, what is the end state we are visualizing? Smart boots on ground, share space with bots. Ears on the net, that is electronic, ELINT, cyber sensor, communication, quantum encryption. So, ears on the net with the eagle on the arm, starting from the FPVs to the logistic drones to the UCAV. Moving ahead, mind in the cloud, eyes in the sky. Means we have to make sure that the cloud-centric warfare has to take place, but I always talk about cloud-centric and network-centric has to have a mix, because the battles can get isolated. Battles may have to be fought without the presence of technology. You may get kind of a devoid of the technology. Even in that condition, you should be able to fight the battle. So it has to be a melange between the two. So mind in the cloud, eyes in the sky, because ISR is most important to shorten the kill chain. Decisions at the edge. Again, as you are aware that our Honorable Raksha Mantri just inaugurated at Jaisalmer the edge data server. What it means, the data centric warfare we are taking as forward as possible and then connecting through the networking, so that we have a more flexibility in carrying out operations, whether it's regional or its complete front. Moving ahead, so where are we? That's what is something important to know. As far as legacy systems are concerned, they are here to stay, because you cannot change them so fast. It's like a social change. You have to have a 30-30-30 phenomena. So if that be the case, the oldest legacy system will at least stay for next 5 to 7 years. So what it means, that we need to kind of empower it with whatever kitting or modification we can do it. But as for the new platforms are concerned, we have to have patience. The second issue is infrastructure gaps in terms of physical and digital. As we are aware, the network for spectrum has still not seen the day of light completely. It's still a very mature state, but it will take some time. The satellites aspirations which are there with all the three services, that will still take some time to mature. Skill deficit. As far as 2027 is concerned, it is claimed that 2.3 million jobs will be there as far as artificial intelligence related. But the talent will be only half of it, that is 1.2 million talent pool. If that be the case, what it means, that in case the Indian Army needs to outsource this requirement, the cost will be very, very high. Therefore, it is important for us to start today, and from all schools everywhere, we need experts in AI even in Indian Army, because we may not be able to outsource because the demand is going to be high and the talent is going to be low. Cultural resistance, of course, this is something which is important for us to understand. Comfort zone is of the last qualification attained, and that is something which will always remain that way. Procurement process, in this year of reforms, this has been a game changer, and as you are aware, the DPM, Defense Procurement Manual, has been released this month only, and the defense acquisition procedure, as you are aware, is moving on the fast pace. By December end, we should be able to finalize it, and it should be applicable from the next financial year onwards. This is a very, very encouraging sign. Import dependency, since it's a ratcheting effect and one technology has to counter others, therefore, till the time the R&D base is not enlarged, and R&D base doesn't come in 2 days. If you spend only 100 crores vis-a-vis 1000 crores in pharmaceuticals, that means we need to look into it very deeply, that how are we looking at it. Therefore, critical components will always have to be imported, as I see, for next 4 to 5 years minimum. If that be the case, then import dependency will continue. Cyber and data vulnerability, of course, that's again a ratcheting effect. What happens that it restricts us to share a lot of space which we could have shared in kind of having a collaborative phenomena. And that is where we are working in silos. It's a challenge for us, but we are trying to open up. As far as the Atmanirbharta is concerned, part of the Jai call given by Prime Minister when he addressed us on 15th of September this year. Jai is basically jointness, A is Atmanirbharta, and I is innovation. And the era has come that we need to have an accelerated innovation phenomena. So we are having IDEX, Make 2, MSME, startups also being given a lot of support system, micro entrepreneurs also being looked at in forward areas. If I can just say that Indian Army as such, if you look at the complete starting from when it came in 2019, approximately 2.1 lakh crore rupees have been committed or invested for R&D and resultant procurement. So this is what is the kind of money which we are putting into it. So it's a major bet, but how it comes, we are not sure. And that's why we have a patience and we are looking at spiral development. We are aligning ourselves with the national missions. The India AI mission we already aligned. We are associated with the space mission. We are associated with the quantum mission, 6G. So everywhere now we are taking a lead and associating ourselves. Somewhere we are the pivotal partners, somewhere we have the Center of Excellence at MCT, that Military College of Telecommunication Engineering at MAU. So that is how we are moving ahead. And to move ahead in phase 1, 3 RDC regional development centers with 128 GPU each, costing 150 crore each, is already been planned and the money has been allocated. So this is how we are looking at where the AI absorption is concerned. And probably if everything goes well, we will be launching digitization 3.0. Honorable Raksha Mantri will be launching it this month or the next month. Open source analysis and predictive analysis. In Sindoor 1.0, it helped us. A lot of volunteers came forward inside the country, diaspora, they came forward, they helped us. And if I can say that we could, means we were very much empowered as far as Sindoor 1.0 is concerned. We have learnt our lessons. Therefore, whether it's Sindoor 2.0 or any other battle thereafter, we are looking at in a big way. How moving ahead, drones. What more important for us at this point of time is, when we are moving ahead, the number of drones which are there is something phenomenal. At let's say a frontage of 500, we have approximately 10,000 drone equivalent. If that be the number, I think the air defense itself has to have a new definition. Therefore, we are examining closely the air littoral. Air littoral is something where the drones are coming to you. You will have to kind of have your own US and counter-US equipment to kind of counter it, because there will be no time to control at the highest level what we are looking at. So we are working on it. We do not have immediate answers, but we should be able to get it after some time. The third issue is the connectivity and communication. As you are aware, NFS have already told you, OFC is something laid to a great extent, and since we have the officer from ITBP, he would be aware that we have extended this facility also to the CAPFs, so that after all we have to fight the battle together, so might as well get connected at the early stage. Sambhav, you are aware how it was used in Sindoor 1.0. Now we are going for the phase 2, which will be a much more advanced version. Dedicated satellites.